that there once was a girl who was sowing some seeds that then began growing on a nearby hill that gave her her fill of knowing that caused her great glowing. Knowingness. Did you write down the 5 things that you know? Is there anyone who would like to begin sharing? All right. What do you know for sure? Begin. What do you know for certain?
I know that there is a connection to dawn which I cannot, beyond what I can see.
All right. Number 1. Number 2?
Number 2, I know that telepathy and deep nonverbal communication exists within me and some of those people and birds to which I interact.
All right. Number 3?
I know that I am.
All right. Anything else?
Yes. I know that something is happening with regard to manifestations of numbers and names.
All right.
And I don't know.
I did not ask you what you didn't know.
Okay, I do know that. I do know that
All right.
much.
What else do you know?
I know that which I have doubts of become more transparent when interacting with Bashar.
All right. All that said, if that is what you know, all else at this moment is supposition. The idea is to relax the supposition and stay in the state of your knowing and allow whatever needs to reveal itself to you about what you know to simply reveal itself in whatever way it chooses to do so. Because however it does so will then, as you know, be a reflection of that knowing state and will not have to be guessed at for what it is or what it represents or what it reflects to you. When you stick simply, first and foremost, with what you know and take the guesswork out of it and do not ponder what you don't know, you can then be assured, you can then also know that whatever represents itself to you, whatever manifests to you, whatever is reflected to you, will be a product of that knowing state, even if it comes in a form you did not expect or imagine would happen. To drop the expectation sufficiently where you can allow the knowing state to really show you what you need to know, and by elimination reveal what you don't need to know at that moment, will allow you greater clarity in every moment of your life. Thank you. Next person to share what you know. No. Next person to share what you know.
I'll share.
All right. One second has passed.
Okay. I know I am a talented writer.
All right.
I know I have created a wonderful organization.
All right.
I know I have people who love me in my life.
All right.
I know I am a loving person.
All right.
And I know that I impact many people.
No. Remember what we said about impact.
Can you remind me, please?
Yes. You do impact everyone. This is true. But remember that the idea of what you do doesn't cause the impact. It only reveals it.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
You all already have all the impact you will ever have. What you do by following your joy does not create more impact. It reveals the impact you're already having.
Then I can rephrase that to say I know that I have the realization
Yes.
that I am
It is all right for you to say it the way you said it as long as you realize how it is meant.
Yes.
Structurally.
Yes.
Stay again in those states of knowing. All else that is not revealed in that state does not need to be known at this moment.
Even if I'm getting the reflection back from people that I have impacted them, isn't that true?
That's a revelation of your impact.
Okay.
It is not that the thing you did caused it, the thing you did revealed it, and they are simply reflecting the revelation. We are discussing the difference, which may at times seem to be a fine line, but isn't. We're discussing the difference between falling into the illusion that you need to do something to impact the world and living in the realization that you already all impact the world, and that by following your joy, you are simply uncovering and revealing that impact, as opposed to having to do something special in order to cause the impact. So what's being reflected to you is simply the revelation of impact you already have, just by the very fact of your existence.
Then I'll rephrase that to say that I know that I'm following my joy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
Who else would like to share what they know for certain?
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
After trying this experiment, something interesting came to me. Everything that I thought I knew or know, I could contradict.
Very good.
And
So what
I just,
do you actually know for certain?
for certain that I don't know Jack.
Who's that?
You don't know Jack either.
But I did not ask you what you don't know.
No,
You do know at least the few things we discussed this day. And I said you could use them on your list if you wished to. You do know that you exist.
maybe I'm getting too esoteric, and I probably
Maybe
am.
you are.
But,
Do you know that you exist? Of course you do.
It feels like I do. I think I am.
You do. Because if you can think you do, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to think that you do. Correct? Do you not see the simple logic?
Yeah, I mean, I do at one level for sure.
There is no other level here. That's the point. And that's where you get too esoteric. You think there are more levels and there's more complexity than there is. There isn't. Do you exist? Yes or no? There is no other answer. And no is not possible as an answer.
Then I'm getting way too esoteric.
Yes.
Yes, I
So
exist.
that's another thing you know.
Touche.
Don't get all French with me.
Oui. Okay. I.
Would you like to
Right,
simply
sorry.
take time to make a new list?
Sure.
Attempting it from a less esoteric place?
I know I have feeling,
All right. You see how simple that is?
and I know I have an experience that I'm becoming more familiar with of this invisibility I spoke
All
about
right.
yesterday.
All right. You see, knowing statements are simple statements. They are not complicated. They are simple statements.
So maybe what it is it's something where I know it for myself, but I can't prove it to anybody else.
That is not a criteria.
Right. And maybe that's what I was thinking.
Because you
What can I
can't prove anything to anyone else anyway.
Anyway, right. Okay.
You can't even prove you exist to anyone else.
I know. That's the discussion I had.
But
at
that's
lunch.
not the question. I only asked you what you knew, not what you felt you had to prove.
Yep.
And that's
Got it.
very revealing.
I got it.
And now you know that about yourself.
I got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us for a moment shift to the idea of what you may call the regular questions. We will come back to what you know.
Hello, Bashar.
And good day to you.
Greetings. First thing I'm going to do is give you my list. I actually don't have 5 things on my list.
All right.
I only have 3 things.
All right.
I know that I exist.
Yes.
I know what I observe.
Yes.
I know what I feel.
Yes.
Anything else is just a detail of one of those 3.
That's 4 things.
No, I'm just speculating that last one.
It's still something you know.
I know, I'm kidding.
All right.
Okay, now to the question that I want to ask. You've mentioned the subject of time this weekend several
Yes.
times. And I want to revisit the question that was asked last night about the concept of frequency and the fact that it is a function of time.
Yes.
And I want to get into some more technical detail about that.
All right.
Now, I've been aware for 30 some odd years that our experience of physical reality is a sequential focusing of our attention on a sequence of different universes, if I'm understanding correctly. Very much in the way
In a
that,
sense, yes.
yeah, in the way that motion picture film
Yes.
is a sequence of still frames.
This is, of course, all still an analogy, but it will do as a representative one with regard to the third-dimensional space-time matrix. Yes.
Okay, and I am speaking specifically of
Yes.
physical reality.
Yes, I know.
And within this context, it would mean that within the idea of an infinitude of different universes and different realities and different dimensions is the idea that when we experience movement,
Yes.
what we are actually experiencing is instantaneous shifts from one physical reality, from one dimension to another one that is very, very close
Yes.
in structure,
Yes.
and going through a whole series of these, just like a series of frames in a motion picture,
Correct.
gives the illusion of motion,
Yes.
and that motion gives the illusion of time.
Yes.
Because we do it at a very deliberate pace for the most part, especially
Yes.
when we have a clock that is measuring this, that the movement of the clock really establishes the standard of
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm correct in my understanding that each of these frames of physical reality is essentially static.
Yes.
Okay, and this gets back to the change and no change idea that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Everything is change, but there is no change. It's
Correct.
subject. Okay, so each of these physical realities is static.
Yes.
And now let's bring in the idea of frequency.
Yes.
Frequency is vibrations per unit of time.
Yes.
But time is the illusion of motion, which is a shifting from one dimension to the next. And I'm wondering exactly how frequency relates to that shifting from one dimension.
The
to the
frequency that you create in your consciousness when you create the illusion of time is what determines exactly which frames fall into the slot that give you your sense of continuity. Does that make sense?
next. I didn't totally get it.
All right. The ideas that you create in your consciousness, the illusion of time, by creating the concept of frequency.
Yeah.
In doing so, once you have created that, it then determines which of the static sequence of parallel realities you actually experience as your continuity of motion. Because let's just say, again, even though I understand there may be shortcomings in third-dimensional language to express this, let's say you choose to operate on a certain frequency within your consciousness.
Okay.
By establishing that frequency, by setting up that illusion of time and frequency, you might choose every third frame, or every second frame, or every fifth frame as your expression of change in space.
Okay.
So the frequency at which you operate determines exactly how you experience the idea of the continuity of motion.
Okay.
Which frames are represented in that sense.
Okay. So would the higher frequency be a skipping of more frames?
Yes.
Okay. But really, there's not really a skipping of frames. It's just
No, not really.
that those frames that you're quote unquote skipping just aren't part of that motion picture of your existence.
Correct.
Okay. Now let's get into the idea of frequency of non-physical beings.
Yes.
Because I understand that they also experience or express a frequency.
To some degree, yes.
Okay. But if they are not experiencing or not focused in physical reality,
Yes.
and we've been talking about frequency of progression of attention on frames in physical reality,
Yes.
There
are frames of non-physical reality too.
okay. So
They are just of a different quality.
different quality. What would distinguish the quality that they experience from the quality we experience?
It would be similar to the analogy, perhaps, of having double exposures in each frame. So that you can actually focus on one thing or another in any frame. It's not quite so structured, not quite so limited.
Okay, let me bring into the discussion another technological analogy.
Yes.
Our motion picture frame is, our motion picture film is a series of frames connected together in a sequence, and you can actually cut these.
Yes.
But we have now nonlinear editing,
Yes.
an electronic thing, where you can put the frames together in any way you want.
Yes.
And almost set it to go random, and it'll pick frames.
Yes, and this is also a quality of the frames in non-physical reality.
Okay, this is what I'm thinking. What you're describing sounds to me like the nonlinear editing
Yes.
approach.
So you could say physical reality is more linear based and non-physical reality is more non-linear based, even though they're both using frames.
Okay, so then getting back to the concept of frequency.
Yes.
Both physicals and non-physicals experience or express the idea of frequency.
Yes.
The non-physicals at the higher frequency,
Yes.
I'm getting the idea that means that they are, does it mean that they are experiencing the frames of reality at a higher rate?
It doesn't always mean that, although they can.
Okay.
What it really is more like is the concept of high definition that now exists in your reality. There's more information per frame that they can access.
Okay, and I'm getting that they can probably look at a lot of different frames at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Which
because-
constitutes the idea of double exposed frames or multiply exposed frames.
Yeah.
From their point of view.
Okay. I was thinking more like a bank of television sets, but I see how
Any analogy will work.
Okay,
Yes.
I gotcha. Even then, it still implies that there's some kind of the fact that there's a sequentialness to it
Yes.
implies that there's kind of a fundamental idea of time that doesn't necessarily, or rather,
Yes,
is
I know
not,
where you're going.
is not rigid for the non-physicals, but
Yes.
more rigid for the physicals.
Yes. Remember that. anything aside from the one must experience some degree of what you're talking about, or it wouldn't be represented as different from the one.
Thank you. That totally clarifies that whole thing.
It's just a matter of degree.
Yeah, okay. And in physical reality, at least in our physical reality at this point in time,
Yes.
our time is highly structured
Yes.
and very standardized, except for people who are wafting out of it
Yes.
and back into it and that kind of
That's what the idea of the increase of your frequency is all about, is you're starting to exist in that quasi-planar reality that is shifting dimensionalities and gives you more access to more information per frame.
thing. Okay. Now, relating this to your experience in your reality,
Yes.
I understand that you move around. You may walk from your control chair to the doorway of your spacecraft. So you are experiencing time also.
To some degree, yes. Although we have more facility with allowing it to be more flexible, yes.
I understand, but if you are actually walking from your chair to the door,
Yes.
that is an experience of time.
Yes.
And although in the next instant you may be down on the surface of your planet,
Yes.
and then back up
Yes.
2 instants later,
Yes.
there is the sense of time in that there's actual movement and you can observe movement.
Yes.
People walking around on your planet.
We understand it enough to be able to relate to your sense of time, yes.
Okay.
And it is a realm that we ourselves have, at least to some degree, also come up through. We were, in that sense, more structured in the beginning of our evolution than we are now.
Mm-hmm. Were you ever as structured or at least standardized in your experience of time as we are?
No.
Okay.
We were created to be less standardized to begin with.
Gotcha. Okay. I believe that answers my question in its entirety.
Thank you.
Thank you.
say hi hi.
Well, we say hi hi to them too.
All right, what about saying hi hi as well?
Hi hi.
Hi hi.
Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you
That was lovely.
for allowing us to share a portion of our experience of life.
Yes, we're looking forward to more.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I just want to thank
Speak
you.
up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
Sorry. I just want to thank you for acting as a reflection for me.
We thank you for allowing us to do so.
I have a question about instant manifestation.
Instant manifestation, yes.
I know that everything instantly manifested and all through the time delay.
Yes. Time delay, remember, time delay is just an illusion.
Right.
There actually is no such thing as a time delay.
Okay.
There is always instant manifestation, every moment. It's just that what you instantly manifest in the next moment may not appear to look very different than what you were manifesting the moment before. But it is completely different. The way you would then recognize that you're always instantly manifesting is to create the next instant manifestation to look very different from the one before it. That's how you'll tell you're instantly manifesting. That's how instant manifestation would be revealed, but you're already instantly manifesting, but most of you are doing it in such a way that you're creating a sense of flow and continuity in such a slow change appearance that it appears as if there's a time delay when no such thing exists. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So where do you wish to go with this idea from here?
I want to...
Speak up.
Sorry. I wanted to create a device or a thing that allows instant manifestation.
But you are the device or thing that creates instant manifestation.
I know that, but...
You want to create a reflection, a simulacrum
Yeah.
of that.
It would be an equivalent of the controls of the holodeck.
You may do that if you wish. What is the first thing your imagination tells you as what would be the best way to approach creating such a simulacrum?
It tells me to start getting rid of my belief systems.
No, not getting rid of them, transforming them.
Bypassing them, yeah.
From what to what? Can you pick a specific belief you have now that is not allowing you to do this and tell us what you would like to transform it into that would allow you to do it?
It would be the simple belief that, we walk around the world and, we interact and we touch a wall and it's there, that kind of belief, whatever that is.
All right. And what kind of a belief can you actually replace it with that would allow you more flexibility and malleability in the illusion of space-time?
Well, I was thinking about beliefs as maybe like a virus. Could I program a belief to be a virus and take out the beliefs in the way?
All right. You can do that.
Okay. The zone, neutral zone that you were talking about,
Yes.
I assume that's a method to get that done?
It is one permission slip that takes advantage of certain strong underlying archetypal common energies for you all. So yes, it might work for you as well. If you wish to apply any specific twist to it in your imagination, feel free to do so because your imagination knows what it's doing when it does that.
Do you have a practical method you could suggest to me?
Was that not a practical method?
Yeah, it was. Maybe
So what other practical method are you referring to?
more in alignment with my excitement.
Allow yourself to sit in an empty room, and besides the room, have one other object of your choosing in that room. I would suggest that the object be of a homogeneous material. You understand? Not many mixed materials.
Okay.
One homogeneous thing. As you sit in the absolutely empty room with that homogeneous thing, allow yourself to view it in relatively low light, whatever color seems peaceful to you. Have the light behind you so you can't see it, but have it be bright enough just to see the thing. And as you look at that thing, remember what we said about the prime radiant, do you?
No.
All right.
Sorry.
Imagine this first. What your scientists call a subatomic particle. This is just a euphemism, but it will do for this exercise, all right? A subatomic particle. Can you imagine that?
Sort of.
Sort of. All right, doesn't matter. It's not a precise thing because, as I said, it's only a euphemism. It's only a symbol. Whichever way you choose to depict it will work, all right?
Okay.
All right, so do you have the picture of that subatomic particle?
Yeah.
All right, now, imagine that this subatomic particle has no restrictions, no limitations. It can actually move at infinite speed if it wants to. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
If something can move at infinite speed, that means it can be everywhere at once, correct?
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
That means it could appear to be more than one particle, couldn't it?
Yes.
All right. But you know it's the same particle, yes?
Yes.
All right. That is actually how reality is structured. All of the subatomic particles in you are the same subatomic particle, and they're the same subatomic particle in every single person in the room, and on the planet, and in the universe. The same one particle. Not the same one kind. The literally same one particle makes up everything by being so infinitely fast that it can actually appear to be another particle and another particle and another particle next to itself at the same time. So the trillions upon trillions upon trillions, apparently, of particles are actually the same particle appearing next to itself over and over and over and over again in a geometric relationship not unlike what you are seeing in the holotope diagram. Traces that path on a multitude of dimensions beyond what's represented here, but nevertheless, that's a good slice or shadow of the idea of a higher dimensional form that represents the geometric path that particle is tracing at infinite speed. And every time it crosses itself, every time it crosses its path, it creates the idea of another particle. Now, having said that, the idea is that when you sit in that empty room, aside from that one other object, if you can begin to imagine the particle going back and forth between you and that object, creating all of the particles in your body and all of the particles in that object, and begin to really start to understand and truly comprehend, truly viscerally begin to feel that it actually is the same particle, that you are that object, that object is you. As soon as there becomes no difference between you and that object, you will achieve the state you are looking for, because you will become equal to any other thing you call an object, and there will be no concept of blockage between you. You can become, you can pass through, up, down, it doesn't matter. You can, in that sense, become immaterial to each other because you recognize you are one and the same thing at that moment, and you can trade places in any way, shape, or form you wish. How's that as an exercise?
That could work.
Yes, it could. So play with that and see what happens, all right?
Yeah, I was wondering, is it possible to, instead of do it that way, is it possible to contact a higher consciousness?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Remember, what we have initially said also is that the whole point here is to contact your own higher consciousness as well, because if it's not part of the equation, you actually won't be able to contact another higher consciousness. We wish to tell you all a little secret that we have recently begun to reveal to many of you. You're talking to your higher self right now, but you are allowing us to color it for you with our consciousness to allow you to give yourselves permission to talk to your higher consciousness. You're using us as a simulacrum to give yourself permission to talk to your own higher minds. But your higher mind is who you're actually talking with when you speak with us. So go have fun. Your higher mind will be with you. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Andrew, you good day.
Thank you. We have this kind of idea in our civilization. It's about utopia. It's when everything is perfect and we were trying to build it. And how it's like your civilization doesn't look like...
Our civilization operates on what you would call perfect synchronicity. Everyone is where they need to be, when they need to be there, interacting with perfectly who they need to interact with at exactly the right place and the right time. No one tries to do anything. Everything just happens automatically, like an automatic choreography. We are all in perfect harmony, all in perfect joy, because the only thing that excites us is to do what excites us. And everything that excites us harmonizes perfectly with everything that excites everyone else, and we all come together to do things, and we all split apart to do our own things, exactly when we need to.
So how we come up with these ideas, it's not kind of, it doesn't remind anything like you was talking about, this neutral zone and your civilization.
As each and every one of you learn to validate the individuals that you are, you will start to recognize that unity, complete harmony, is the product of absolute validation of all the individuals within the union. So by each individual becoming more their full self, by acting on their passion, by going into this neutral zone, becoming a fully balanced being, then each individual will begin to work in perfect harmony with every other individual who also does the same. And the more individuals that do that and create that state of being will then create a harmonious world. But you must understand another secret about the idea of changing your world. You actually don't change the world. You just change yourself and shift yourself to a parallel Earth that is already representative of the vibration you have changed to. The old Earth is still there, it's just that you're not focused on it anymore. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes. Thank you. And a small question, like I don't remember any experience like people describing about a lot of with abduction and everything else.
Yes.
Does it mean that I don't have any relatives in other civilization?
It does not mean that. It just may mean that they didn't happen that way.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
You all have relatives in other civilizations for a variety of reasons, but it may not necessarily have taken place that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
All right. And another question, like in the childhood, I always had this, I don't know, memory or idea that like I was brought here for this kind of strange program.
All right, well, maybe you do have relatives that way.
Yeah, it's kind of, I thought maybe it's how you, yeah.
If there is any need for you to remember many of these experiences and interactions, then as your life unfolds by following your passion, you will automatically remember. Remember, you will never miss an appointment that you need to keep. The only way to miss an appointment that you have arranged is by worrying that you will miss the appointment. That's the only way to miss the appointment. Otherwise, if you don't worry that you'll miss the appointment, you cannot miss the appointment. So you will remember everything you need to remember. You will keep every appointment you need to keep by just following your passion. It's an automatically organizing principle. So if there's anything about this you need to remember, it will come to you in whatever way serves you best. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasant dreams.
Thank you.
Greetings, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I would like you to speak about phobias.
Phobias. Yes.
Specifically, why does it take the energy away from you to give you a fear about something that you shouldn't be afraid of?
If you are afraid of it, it is an indication of a belief system within you. Every single emotion is an indication of a definition you believe to be true about yourself in relation to the circumstance. So phobias are strong symbols of a definition that is out of alignment with your true self, and it is a sparkling opportunity when you feel the fear to use the fear as an indicator and a guide to find out what that definitional belief is, so that in identifying it, you can transform it. But it almost always has to do with the idea of a belief or a definition about yourself in relationship to something in the circumstance or some circumstance in your life that it symbolizes. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe?
No.
Oh, all right. What about it doesn't make sense?
The way that it controls my higher consciousness, that I'm very passionate about being somewhere else.
You mean you are afraid to be where you are?
Yes.
So much that you wish you were somewhere else. That's not being passionate. That's being anxious.
Okay.
So the idea, again, is that any time a fear comes up, be it the idea of what you might call a quote-unquote normal fear or something on the level of a phobia, it is an indication, and I'll go further this time, it is an indication of a belief or a definition about yourself in relation to some circumstance in your life. That's what a general fear is, an indication of some negative belief about yourself in relation to some circumstance in your life. A phobia, being that it is so much more amplified or magnified, is an indication not only of a negative belief about yourself in relation to some circumstance in your life, it is also an indication of a belief, of the existence of a negative belief that allows you to be addicted to the negative belief about yourself. It's a reinforcer, an amplifying belief that's also negative. That's why it's a phobia. That's why it is so highly amplified. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, nevertheless, still an opportunity to ask the ultimate question in any and all of such circumstances when they crop up. The question being, what would I have to believe is true about myself in relation to some circumstance in my life for me to feel this way about this thing? What does this symbolize to me in my life? When you start asking those kinds of questions in a meditative, quiet state, once you have neutralized the idea, you will start getting answers about what belief system the phobia represents. So the first step is when you feel the fear, all right, be somewhere else, back away, neutralize it, don't put meaning into it, remove the negative meaning. It's just a situation. It's a neutral prop. It's nothing. It means nothing at all. Now then ask the question, what would I have to believe is true in order to have this fear, to have this feeling about some circumstance in my life that this thing represents? When you do that from a neutrally balanced place of meditation and you're quiet and listen for an answer, you will start to hear your higher mind answer you about what the negative belief actually is. You'll start to get a feeling. You'll start to get a picture. You'll start to hear something, or you'll just get a knowingness. Something will just pop into your head, or you'll feel inspired about something. You will get some information. But that's the question. What do I have to believe is true about myself in order to feel the way I do? That's the fundamental question. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Anything
Thank
else?
You. No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to talk to the teleconference attendees for just a moment and let them know that if we do have a dropout of our signal, to stay online because we will reconnect you. So thank you all for joining us. Would you like to ask a question? Okay, go ahead and sit here.
Hi, Bashar.
I you good day.
It's wonderful to be with you again still.
It is always a joy for us to interact with each and every one of you.
Thanks. I was hoping that you could answer to identify for us what the chemtrails are that have been happening around the planet and whether this...
We will not talk about chemtrails.
Okay.
That data is no longer available from this terminal.
Okay. Otherwise, can you tell us anything of the the man-made genetically manipulated virus, the H1N1 swine flu that apparently is man-made?
That data is no longer available from this terminal.
And then otherwise...
Are you noticing a pattern?
Yes. And, well, third one, and I hope it's not the same response, but the question of the apparently impending compulsory vaccination that is planned for everyone to have.
That data is no longer available through this terminal.
Okay.
Do you know why?
No.
These are all negatively oriented, fear-inducing based belief systems.
Okay.
In this particular time now of our interactions with all of you, we simply cannot expend frequencies and energies in those domains.
So in doing so for us, then they will not exist.
Remember, in the reality of the vibration that you prefer to choose, such things simply would not exist. Therefore, it is pointless to discuss things which are not a part of a reality you say you don't prefer.
Great. Well, thank you.
Do you understand?
Yep, I do. That's wonderful.
We know that to many of you this may seem simplistic, but it is actually quite powerfully profound if you really take the full meaning of this to heart. So thank you for allowing us to reflect the idea of the preferred vibration of the new reality back to you.
Thank you. That's very empowering.
Thank you.
Let go of the things that are not you. Let go of the things you don't know and don't need to know right now. For you will know them when you do need to know them. As the energy on your planet accelerates, as you allow yourself more and more glimpses, more and more experiences, more and more opportunities to experience the knowing state, which is, as we pointed out, as simple as easy as saying, I am. The more you allow that knowing state to permeate all of your life, every situation, every circumstance, no matter how seemingly mundane, no matter how seemingly small, doesn't matter. The more you do that, I guarantee you, the more you will suffer when you don't do that. Now, if that isn't some incentive, I don't know what is. I do not do it to scare you. I do not say it to make you afraid. We say it to let you know you are truly free to live in that knowing state and to live in it freely enough to know that you don't need to know everything all at once. Just what you need at that moment. We do not wish you to suffer. You do not wish you to suffer unless you do. But it's your choice. You don't have to believe us. You don't need to believe us. But you need to decide for yourselves what state you prefer. And you need to decide for yourself that it's easy to create that state. I am. The dots on the paper. The higher airplane. That's where you live. That's where you live. In that mansion, that gorgeous, beautiful, creative, shining, sparkling mansion. You do not need to live in the squalor of beliefs that do not serve you. If you choose to do so, understand that you're choosing to do so. There are no exceptions. But you don't need to do so. You can be in knowing. You can. Because I have just shown you. It's as easy as I am. As soon as you say that, as soon as you remember that, you are in a knowing state. There is no reason and no excuse that says, I can't create the knowing state. Because it is too simple to do. So if you say, I can't get to the knowing state, I guarantee you this, from this point forward, we won't believe you. Say it out loud. I am. I am. It is an absolute fact. You didn't have to repeat that. But thank you for doing so. Shows you are in the moment. Because it's true. It is an absolute fact. If you want to say it out loud, by all means. It's an absolute fact. That I am. There is absolutely nothing that can contradict this. Nothing exists that can contradict this. If you are, then you are. That's it. Isness is your only quality. It can become nothing else. Isness, the quality itself, can become nothing else. Yes, within creation, you can experience becoming many things, but all of them still exhibit isness. They all still exist. You still exist. No matter what you become, you still exist. Existence is your basic quality. That can't change. It is the first law. It doesn't change. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. You are. You are. You are. You are. I am. I am. I am. I am. I am. Even if it were possible for you to suddenly not exist at all, you'd never know it, so why bother caring? Why spend time worrying about it? You would never know it had happened. But if you do exist, I guarantee, because all that is guarantees by its very nature, if you exist, there is only now, so you must always exist, because there is only now. There's only now in which to exist. And if you exist in the only now there is, you always will, because there's only one now. That's it. So here you are. You're part of the club. Lifetime, 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 lifetime to infinity membership. Free of charge. Forever. Start taking advantage of membership privileges. It's up to you. Stay in your knowingness. It's up to you. But now you know it is simplicity itself to be in that state. There is no rationale whatsoever that will make sense anymore that says that state cannot be achieved, because it is the actual easiest state to achieve, because it's the most basic state to achieve. So start from there, let it be obvious, and let the obviousness filter into every aspect of your life, and let it be all right to not know what you don't know. That's all it takes. That's all it takes to have absolute serenity in your life. On every level, for everything. Be in the now. Be in the knowing. Do you think it's an accident that in your language the words now and know are so close in structure? Be in the now and you will know. Be in knowing and you will always be in the now. Always. It's that simple. What is your time frame? We know you enjoy conferring about time. We will give you an opportunity to do so. You mean before the break? Did that make you feel good? Have you come to a consensus now about the difference between time and timing?
I was referring to the entire session, but I didn't realize we were having another break, so we're in agreement.
I see. So the same event produced two different perceptions. Thank you for being an illustration of our first demonstration. Let us take 3 more questions.
Bashar, this is a question from a News for the Soul listener.
Oh, all right.
And it's a compound question.
A compound question.
Yeah, I'm going to put these together.
Yes.
It says, okay, I can talk the talk, but why is it so hard to walk the walk concerning faith when the chips are down and things aren't going my way? Am I just deluding myself? And please explain where the line is, the limits of what is actually possible through the power of faith or knowing for real in this dimension of reality.
To some degree, this question has already been answered. The idea simply is that any delusion that exists is the delusion that the negative belief systems hold sway over the positive ones. So when you say the chips are down, turn them up, because you have the ability to do so. It's not deluding yourself to turn them up, but the irony is you don't think you're deluding yourself when you turn them down. The idea is, as we have recently discussed also, yes, of course, you live in what might be described as a relatively limited reality, and of course certain things will not be apropos to manifest in your reality. It doesn't mean that there really are limits per se, but there certainly are agreed upon parameters that will make sense according to your local reality. So you will usually abide by them. But with parameters, you have free rein to go far and wide in choosing anything that represents your creativity and joy. To put it simply, if there is really something you're passionate about in your reality, it really truly represents your true passion in that reality, it would make no sense for you to not be capable of manifesting it in your reality. Therefore, anything you're truly passionate about, you probably wouldn't be passionate about if it were not possible to manifest in your reality.
That sounds wonderful.
We think so. Oh, what? We know so.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks very much, Bashar.
You are welcome. Any other questions?
Good afternoon, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
when we speak of the common time-space continuum, when
Yes.
you do,
Yes.
you speak of it as a three-dimensional continuum of space and time, time not being treated as a fourth dimension.
Well, we're just using your colloquial vernacular. We understand that from your scientist's point of view, there are three dimensions of space and one of time, making you, in a sense, a fourth dimensional reality.
Oh.
But we also understand there are many different kinds of terminologies that exist in your reality about dimension and density, and it can, to some degree, be somewhat confusing.
Understood. Einstein does refer to the fourth dimension as an imaginary dimension of space.
Yes.
Now, understanding, as I thought I had, that time and space are inseparable in my experience,
Yes.
I come across what they call M theory,
Yes.
which arrives, short version, at an 11th dimensional model
Yes.
in which they have 10-dimensional universes
Yes.
floating in an ocean
Yes.
of an 11th dimension of time.
Yes.
And that sounds to me like we have now made a new kind of time, which is absolute, linear, and just like the kind of notion of time that was pre-Einsteinian. And I'm having some desire to put these notions of time together or relate them.
I see. What your scientists are actually discovering is that there are levels to the concept. We sort of discussed this before when we said that anything outside the one does create some sense of, quote unquote, space-time referential positioning. But there are varying degrees of this. There are certain levels of this. And what they have simply come across is they have reached an understanding that there is another level above physical reality where that kind of so-called barrier, that arbitrary barrier, also exists. I'll put it another way. We have often said, and this again may seem like an arbitrary representation, but you will understand the analogy, we believe, that above a certain frequency level, what you call the speed of light, that defines the border, so to speak, of your physical space-time reality. But there are things that exist at higher frequencies than that are not part of your dimensional experience. But even that domain has its own upper limit beyond which you then recognize you've shifted to yet again another domain, and another domain, and another domain, and another domain. So the theory that your scientists are working with now is simply a mathematical representation of a higher domain's upper limit, where it would once again seem to be the kind of impositional structure that is similar to the kind of impositional structure you experience in your typical third-dimensional space-time reality. Is this making any sense?
Oh, yes.
All right.
So it's not so much that I need to take the physical picture as to understand that this is an expression of a mathematical reaching.
Yes.
Now, I have, and I'm going to ask you to critique or whatever this notion. It is my understanding that in a continuum of any number of dimensions, it takes one more to know it.
Yes.
So that,
as your Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from within the state of mind that the problem was created. You cannot see the forest for the trees. You have to be beyond the forest to see the forest.
So that if it takes 10 dimensions, for example, for all there is.
Yeah, knowing that that's just an analogy.
Yes.
All right.
Then I would be the 11th dimension contemplating it objectively.
Yes.
And that is not essentially a sound way to hold the idea.
Yes, it is one way to begin to work with those concepts, by always understanding that in order to perceive a concept in its entirety, you actually, so to speak, have to be beyond it, which automatically implies a bigger reality.
Are you suggesting that the assignment of a finite number of dimensions to all that is inappropriate?
It is not that it's inappropriate. It is appropriate for how you may want to work with certain concepts. But it will never be an accurate representation because infinity will always trump the finite.
Mm-hmm. So whatever I make of that notion is a limitation.
Yes, but it may be a very plausible or workable one for what you may need to apply it to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I know that I have chosen to suffer this weekend.
Oh, all right. And why did you choose that?
I have been experiencing a challenge to my faith.
Yes.
And this weekend has brought me from despair and anger to hope.
All right.
And I was listening to what you've been saying,
yes.
and I'm getting closer back to faith. But I was
Are you going beyond faith to knowing as well?
No. And I was wondering
right.
if there was anything more that you would like to tell me to bring me to a stronger faith and towards
I am
knowing.
not attempting to bring you to a stronger faith. I'm attempting to bring you beyond faith to knowing. Did you do the I am exercise?
I did.
Do you understand that when you say I am, that that's an absolute fact?
I do.
Then you know. It's that simple. Did you not believe us when we said it was that simple? Is that part of the challenge?
The challenge for me is when you say circumstances don't matter.
Yes. Do
That's
you want me
my
to
challenge.
explain that?
I want to know how I can believe that and demonstrate it.
Oh, thank you. We often have said, though we understand how this first sounds in your language, we don't mean it negatively, that the greatest gift creation has given is that life is meaningless. There is no built-in meaning to situations or circumstances. They're just neutral props. I'll put it another way. You are aware, to some degree as we demonstrated earlier, that any given situation can actually produce even opposite results, yes?
Yes.
Or opposite perceptions, yes?
Yes.
All right. You can look at any situation and you could see a positive outcome or you could see a negative outcome of the same situation, yes?
Yes.
Well, that shows you that no situation's meaning is absolutely built in. It's determined by how you see it. So if you decide that a situation will have a positive effect on you, that's the effect it will have. If you decide it will have a negative effect on you, that's the effect it will have. The situation doesn't come with a built-in parameter that says it's going to affect you positively or negatively. That's in your hands to determine. So nothing has built-in meaning, and therefore that's why we say the circumstances don't actually matter. It's the state of being that matters, because it's the state of being that allows you to determine what meaning you will assign to those circumstances that are fundamentally neutral. Does that make sense?
But if someone's in harm's way,
yes.
how can you look at that in a positive way?
All right, thank you. There is a difference between observing that something is mechanically negative or mechanically positive. Positive being segregative. In that sense, the negative being segregative, the positive being integrative. You understand?
No.
You don't?
No.
All right. When we talk about positive and negative, we're not talking about subjective good and bad. We're talking about an actual mechanical description of energy. That which is negative in that sense is that which segregates, separates, shall we say, isolates, disconnects, forms experiences of disconnection. That which is positive forms experiences of integration, unification, bonding, oneness. Do you follow that?
Yes.
All right. The idea being that if you operate on a fear-based definitional system, more often than not, you will experience more emotions of disconnection and greater fear. Thus, you are seeing that the mechanism is simply generating an expanded version of itself by perpetuating more doubt, more disconnection, more fear. Does that make sense? More misalignment within your belief systems from your core. The fear itself is the expression of negatively aligned belief systems. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, the idea being, when you see somebody operating in a negative way, or when you see a situation that you are saying someone is being harmed in, you can recognize the mechanisms that might be involved may be negatively based. Nevertheless, you can also recognize, as you can in many situations in life, that that being that person, while not necessarily excusing the negative behavior, might also allow others to learn something positive from it, or might give someone else a positive effect. I'll put a very simple example before you. We understand that it is negative when someone abuses another person. That's a negative act, perpetuated by negative beliefs. It is segregative, it is isolating, it is disruptive, it is disconnective. Nevertheless, if you came upon the situation where you're seeing someone being abused, and you come to their assistance and help them, then you are putting positive energy into it. And if you say, in seeing this, I am now inspired passionately to do what it takes to make sure this doesn't happen again on our planet, anywhere, then you are going to generate a positive effect out of what essentially started as a negative experience. Do you follow that?
Yes.
So it's how you use it. And that's why we simply say circumstances don't matter. Not to discount them, but to let you know it's what meaning you decide to give them that determines what effect you can extract from them and apply to your reality. Remember, everyone that is having an experience is fundamentally an eternal, infinite spirit. You follow me? Ultimately, everyone is just fine. Everyone, I'll put it colloquially, everyone goes to heaven, no matter what they've done, because that's the only place there is. The idea is that you are created in unconditional love, and that's the only place there is to go back to. Unconditional love. Now, individual beings may learn that they didn't necessarily want to operate in a certain way because it may have created an experience for them that is more negatively oriented than positively oriented. And they may learn to do something about that from that experience. That's up to them. But the point is that when we say circumstances don't matter, we're simply attempting to let you know that they are fundamentally neutral and that you can decide how they will actually affect your reality, what you will do with that experience. Just because the experience may start negatively doesn't mean that the only experience you can get from it is a negative one. You can actually use it to learn a lesson and actually create a very positive reality from that negative experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Also, when we say circumstances don't matter, but only states of being do, we are making a play on words of the term matter. Circumstances aren't what materialize your reality. It's your state of being that materializes reality, experience for you. The circumstances are simply neutral props that allow you to decide whether you are, by reflection, in alignment or not. Does that help?
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello again, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
All right, I'm curious now.
Oh, all right.
From what you sense right now,
yes,
can human evolution lead to certain super abilities becoming more real?
Yes.
For example, radical, spontaneous change in physical form?
Yes.
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 Oh, okay. Flight?
Yes.
Spontaneous regeneration?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
There are actually already people on your planet, though they are not many in number, that can already do these things.
Oh.
You typically call them shamans.
Okay. Cool.
There's that temperature again.
Yeah. It's very nice. Thank you very much.
Does that help you?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. You may all at this time take a short break. We will resume contact with a story. Or it'll say, let us continue this transmission with the following story. Relax, become comfortable, and let us begin in your traditional way, once upon a time. There was, many of your years ago, but yet to you still many of your years in the future. A world which was fashioned for the purpose of continuing a civilization that had brought itself to the brink of destruction. And this world was fashioned so they could have a second chance at perpetuating their culture, their civilization. These are the ones who made us. The ones who made us found your parallel reality and other parallel realities and fashioned from their own genetic material and yours several hybrid species of which we are one. I began my incarnation in my civilization 137 of your years ago, but yet still 2,700 years in your future. As I was born in my society and allowed to be telepathically connected, I did not forget my connection to my spirit, my higher mind, my oversoul, in which was made an arrangement, an agreement, wherein I would have also what to me is a past life on your world, which is the channel before you. And in that arrangement was set out certain parameters for how that communication would occur, would evolve. And it was taught to me at age 3 that I would contact my past self also at age 3 and form the bridge and the link that would connect us through this life. And I was taught the way of doing these things. For I knew and I remembered that this would be my expression, my passion, to open gateways and open doorways for the consciousnesses of those on the threshold of new awakening and new realities and new experiences. And I was filled with great joy to realize my becoming. And as my orbits around my central star progressed, and I became what you know as the 7th year of life, thus then was I also introduced to another who was to be a counterpart in this endeavor, who, as a female of my society, would also be an initiator of the opening of the gate and the opening of the door. And as such, I would eventually take upon myself the appellation that you have come to know as Bashar. So she would take on the appellation known as Anima. And in this way, together we would work to initiate contact and open many doors so that those civilizations with whom we would interact would eventually be those who would join the alliance of worlds. And in this way did we grow and train and learn and explore together. And before my time, there was the creation by those that made us of a repository of knowledge on our world. And not only upon our world, which in our ancient language is Ethathani, place of living light, but on all the other worlds they had fashioned and also placed thereupon other hybrid races, each of whom would play a part in a variety of ways of opening up remembrance, contact, and continuance with the ancestors, which are you, Enani in our ancient language, the ancestors, the ancient ones, who are in that sense from whom we are made. We are in that sense all the hybrids, your extension and your children, but each plays a different role in the remembrance and rejoining of family. We play our part in initiation, but there are those who will be the first to make open contact with you, who have begun to show their ships to you, as we have named them, those encounters you have come to know as the Phoenix Lights, being representative of one such ship of that group who shall be the first, and are now through us allowed to represent that as we are Ethithani and you are Anani, they are the Shalanaya, which means those who will come first. The Shalanaya are our cousins, our brethren, and your immediate children. From those experiences you have labeled abduction on your planet, which is for the further perpetuation of the species of those who made us. Your counterpart humans in a parallel reality who have mutated beyond the recognition of the human form, and in so doing prevented themselves from continuing in the same manner as which you do through reproduction. But in contacting their parallel selves, of which you are parts of the same oversoul, to, shall we say, initiate the idea of contact through what you have called the abductions, did form bonds that were unexpected in their oversouls to allow them to glean and glimmer a new sense of emotionality and the potential of what you can become as a parallel reality that can take a path unlike the path they took. They recognize that you are similarly heading down the same road of destruction, but know that for you there is a fork that they did not take. And in so creating the hybrid races such as ourselves, did put upon us the task of assisting our ancestors, the Anani, to aid and assist in waking you up as you travel down that path, so that by the time it comes time to arrive at that fork in the road, you will take the one they did not take. And you will take the one that will allow you to continue. And you will take the one that will allow you to rejoin the family that they have taken from you in perpetuating themselves. The family that shall return, the first of which being the Shalanaya. As they return, as they open contact, they will bring gifts of knowledge and awareness. They will remind you of your true histories. Not history in the singular, but histories. All the way back to the origins of the DNA that has plied its way through space, finally arriving in the solar system you call your own, and setting up incarnations on the planet that has been destroyed, Marduk, on the planet that has been destroyed, Mars, on the planet that has yet to be seen as whether it will live or die, the Earth, but which we know you will continue on with. For we would not at this point be speaking with you had you not taken the fork that would allow for the family reunion. We thank you for taking the fork, and even though we know these are still what you would recognize as the dark days of confusion, when it does not always seem as if you are moving toward the light, from our perspective, the gift that you have given to us of life allows us to reflect our knowing back to you that that is the road you are on, for we are on it with you. And we will never, ever leave your side. Though we may present ourselves in various ways at various times and express our beingness with you in a variety of endeavors that shall take different forms, that shall transform, always it will be with the essence of ourselves left within that endeavor that shall continue side by side with you, the Anani, our ancestors. For we thank you for the gift of life, and I thank you for my experience on my world and on yours simultaneously. I am enriched, and we are all enriched by each and every experience you allow us to have of you. For we not only discover more of ourselves on our own world, in our own reality, but we discover more of ourselves through you, through the aspects of you that are within us, as your ancestors, as your descendants, as your children. Fear not. Worry not. You will become what you desire to be. For we see you as you are in our time. And in our time, you are among the stars. And you know who you are. And in our time, there is another form of life on earth, learning its lessons, creating its experiences. But you will leave behind a few things they will ponder, and they will wonder about you and where you went. And in spirit, you will guide them. Even as in body, you will explore other worlds and assist others as we assist you. Other star systems evolving, other cultures evolving. And you will contact them much as we have contacted you. And you will be their entities and make them wonder what lies beyond. And you will bring them up the ladder with all of us as you take your place as a full-fledged member of the Interstellar Alliance. That gathering which together synchronistically expands, enriches all who participate, all who harmonize within it. Because the core is the freedom to be the fullest individual and to learn that by being such, that this is what creates the harmony of unity. That diversity and the strengthening of your diversity, your true nature, is what allows for the harmony of the unification to express itself perfectly and allows for continued expansion within all that is. We share with you our beating heart, for it is with the unconditional love of all that is that we speak with you and that we remind you to know yourselves fully. One moment, one moment, one moment, one moment, one moment, one moment. Look to your Arizona area in your year of 2010. There shall be another opportunity for contact with the Shalanaya. Look to your Arizona area in your year of 2010. There shall be another opportunity for contact with the Shalanaya. In your year of 2008, you shall have an opportunity to set in motion the circumstances in your society that will allow for the initial recognition to occur in 2010. In 2012, there shall be, in a variety of what you call sacred sites, another opportunity for recognition of the Shalanaya. 5 years hence from then, what you would call your year of 2017, there shall be the first broad awakenings of the memories of contact that has occurred in and around various cities. People will awaken to dreams that are memories. There will be, at first, psychological confusion at this, but by your year of 2020, the dreams will explain themselves sufficiently so that all of these that remember will communicate with all others that recall. And there will be the establishment of communication vehicles, centers, sites on your internet for those that remember the encounters that will reveal themselves in the dreams. After your year of 2025, there will then begin a series of limited open contacts in isolated areas, predetermined, pre-selected, pre-chosen on your planet. In and around your year of 2030, there will be preparations for large-scale open contact in your year of 2033. These events are as we read your energy now. You have the ability in your year of 2008 to put exactly this timeline in motion. You also have the ability to extend this timeline depending on what you do in your year of 2008. It is in your hands now more than ever before. Begin open dialogue. Begin requests of open discussion of what your government knows of extraterrestrial existence. Strongest opportunities that exist in 2008 for the change of your American government. Infuse that change with recognition not only of what must accelerate to aid and assist the environment of your world, but simultaneously with the idea of contact with higher, different, other intelligence. Begin in whatever way is representative of your passion, these dialogues, this infusion, these ideas. Use your imagination. Come from the knowing you. Do not be afraid of the dream. Do not be afraid of the dream. Do not be afraid of the dream. The dream is what will awaken you. That is the paradox. Dare to have the dream that will awaken you. Know yourself. And as you know yourself and give off more of the frequency of your true essential nature, the Shalanaya shall recognize you by that sign and shall gravitate toward those they must meet when the time comes, when the reunion happens. This is simply our opportunity to share these ideas with you, to share this possibility of unfoldment with you. One moment, one moment, one moment. Mommy, Daddy, we will soon no longer be just in your dreams. Mommy, Daddy, if you will have us, we will live side by side on a new world that will be both your and our home. We will be in your dreams. Good night, Mommy. Good night, Daddy. We will see you soon. One moment. Your world is preparing to experience a level of unconditional love in the near future, unprecedented on your planet. Even in ancient times, with other civilizations that were far more connected, far more in remembrance of their connection to spirit, never before on earth have you gone through the darkness to the light in this way, and the remembrance shall be profound by having taken that path. And the love, once regenerated, shall never be lost again. And in 1,000 of your years, you will no longer incarnate at all as humans on your world, but will, as we said, leave it for others to use for their own journeys, their own experiences, their own discoveries of self, but you will guide them, you will aid them, you will be their spirits, you will be their entities. You will be the ones to whom they turn for guidance. This is your legacy, even as it is wrapped up tightly with ours. For we are one family. And as family, we are inseparable. We love you. All of you. Each of you. Forever and ever and ever. Doggy toys. We are going to remind you now to know yourselves. Remember the simple things we have shown you here. The simple ways. The I am. To be in knowing. The dot on the paper. That's all it takes. Know what you know. You don't need to know what you don't know right now. That is sufficient for you to be all you need to be in this moment. Enjoy yourselves as we enjoy you. Once again, take a deep breath. Let it out. Take another deep breath. Let it out and let all the anxieties go. No worries, no anxiousness. Take another deep breath. And hold it, and hold it, and hold it. And as you let it out, release and say out loud, I am. And that's all I need to be. And so it is. We will extend to each of you, at this time in perfect timing, our deepest, heartfelt, unconditional love for the co-creation of this interaction. And simply we remind you that no matter in what form it comes, there are more surprises ahead, more excitement around the bend. Your imagination is limitless. Let it be your guide. And it will always lead you into the perfect place and the perfect time and the perfect surprise to discover more of your knowing self. And we will see you in and in between your dreams. Our unconditional love to you, and good day. How did it go?